welcome back to the channel. Today, the ongoing part 2 of our little Astor Mickey. Let's put him together in this video. Now, what I've got to do now is fit the power cord. One of Carl's brilliant power cords. And yeah, you can find these on eBay. They're great. So let's work out how we're going to fit this cord in. Obviously, it's got to go into our switch at the back here. I'm not real sure how we're going to secure this. I've got to work out where it comes out of the back of the radio, so forth. So yeah, you guys may do it a different way to me, but for now, let's get this thing in. Now, as we can see, I will just slip this fella into the case. Just got to work out how all this is arranged. So I'm guessing our power cord, being on this side, will come out along here. Now, our back, which is now nice and straight, flat, comes out here. So definitely along the bottom of the chassis. So it's got to come out this edge. Now, as you can see, this switch is a double pole switch. So we've got the two terminals down here that we've got to go onto and find an earth point on this, which will be underneath here somewhere, to secure our earth cable, our earth wire on the 3-core cable. So we'll tip him upside down and see where we can go in, down there, and come out just here somewhere up the back. I've taken the valves out there, so we've got easy access to this. Now, where the cable was, the original cable, the twin core, had these couple of clips over it. It come up from the switch here, went in under here and out the back, and these little clips clamped over it. I will see, can we still use them? Hopefully we can. If not, we can, well, solder something else in there that can clamp the cable on those 2 points. Now, on the front switch, we've got an earth point here, but I would like all these fairly close together. So if we go those two, it's not quite enough, long enough to go over to this one. What I want to do is make another earth point just in around here. So I'll scrape this off and we'll get an earth point happening just right there. So we'll do that right now. That should be a fairly clean piece of metal there. Now we'll put some flux on him and get some solder happening onto him. We'll clean off the flux and just clean him up a bit, and then we'll fit the cord. And if you're doing this, that's about what you should have on the chassis there. Okay. Now, let's get this fella in. Now, these cables normally come with these little ferrules fitted on the end. What I normally do is tin them with solder and solder them straight onto the terminals of the switch. And now we will fit the ground wire. Really, probably should have a little bit bigger soldering iron than this, but I think we can get him on with this one. And he's melting there now, melting nicely. And okay. Some of you guys may use a tag strip to do this. There doesn't seem to be a lot of room underneath this little fella. We'll bring our cable over like so and secure him under there. Now we need this clip to go over him up the top here. I'm going to just put a little bend in him there so there's no strain on the switch itself. There's a hole here in the side. Our cable's here. Now I'm just wondering, I might put a cable tie around our cable right there to hold him secure at the back of the switch. I think that'd be a good idea. Nothing's going to be on the side of this. There's plenty of room on the side of the radio to the case when it goes in. So I'm going to put a cable tie just around that, just as a precaution to hold the cable in place. Okay, that's holding our cable nice and firm. We'll just squeeze him up a little bit. There. Okay, about the best we can do with the power cable there, I think. Obviously, the original power cable was a twin core, and it was a lot lighter than this cord, a little bit easier to wire in and handle, so forth. We better put these little fellas back in. Our rectifier, 665, and our 6V6. Right, I'm happy with that. Let's get on to the next thing, which is our speaker inspection and see how we go with him. Right, this speaker, a Model 5C, and a little bit of a tear in the label there. We might try and get that back down just for authenticity. And quite nice. Back looks great. Front, yeah, not too bad. Here we've got evidence of some sort of little animal that's been in here. But it's coming out quite easily, quite nice. There is a very small indentation there, and we move around here. I thought there was a little hole here, but there's not actually. There is a very small hole right there. You can't see real well there, but just there is a very small hole. So what I'm going to do, we'll clean him off with a brush, clean the whole thing off just in the surround with a brush, lightly, and then we'll put some liquid electrical tape just over that point, and maybe this point that's almost been pushed through at one stage. Not quite, but I think we'll just patch him up with some electrical tape. Liquid electrical tape, not plastic electrical tape. Okay, guys? Don't go whacking bits of pieces of insulation tape across this. We'll do that now, and I'll show you what I use. Just give him a little bit of a blow out there. Brush the rubbish off the bench. Okay. Let's patch that little hole up. Okay. Now this is what I use. I buy this from JCar Electronics here in New South Wales or Australia. Great stuff. Just really good stuff for doing little bits and pieces. Now, we don't need heaps on this, so I don't want to use the brush as such. Put a little bit on just a small stick and just smear him over it. Just a little bit. And he will dry, and it will still flex even though it's dry. So we'll put a little bit more on that sus looking indentation there. Will certainly stop it from going any further. Okay. Now, we'll do the same with this little fella here. Didn't think I'd have enough there, but I think I do. You don't need a lot. You just need enough to stop him from tearing any further. I might put just a little bit more on. There we go. One good speaker. And what we've got to do here is I'll probably put a little bit of this electrical tape under here, and push him down on that. This is getting very particular, but I like the authentic look of things as they were, and yeah. Yeah, I think you'd be okay. It'll certainly save it tearing any further. If we were very particular about this as well, which I have done, some clear nail polish just over that, and that will stop it from ever tearing. So this fella looks quite good. There we go. Oh, look at the next job. Yes, we'll enjoy polishing these. Now, I've polished him up fairly well on top. He has come up very, very nicely. Front has come up pretty good, but we've got to get into little areas like in here. And if we go over the other side, all along there. Now, I use those cotton bud type things. I don't know what you call them. You can use ordinary little cotton buds or something like that to go in there with a little bit of cleaning agent, metho, probably not acetone. I wouldn't use acetone. Normally it doesn't affect Bakelite, or this is a composite Bakelite come plastic, it seems. So no, I wouldn't use acetone on there. But other cleaner, you can use some brake cleaner for cars. It cleans areas like this really, really well. It's very good for chassis and things like that. So yeah, just standard brake cleaner available from any auto accessory shop. But for this one, I'll be probably using a little bit of methylated spirits on a little bud, and go into each one of these and get those out. The rest of it is starting to look pretty good. The back, well, yeah, it's 1,000% on what it was, and certainly good enough to go ahead and put him together. We do have a couple of cracks. Small crack there. There's not much I can do to get rid of that. Don't want to push it any further, really. There's a small crack here, just on the edge, one in there. Yeah, not much we can do, really. I'm not that perfect with this type of material. We've got more polishing along here. We've got some paint spots. You can maybe see a spot there. There's a few spots around here. The spots along the front. So I've still yet to, there's a couple of spots here, still yet to get these out. So a little bit of polishing. Let's get to work. Well, our case is sparkling. It come up so well. This is almost a perfect cabinet. It is so nice. In the back, yeah, not quite as nice, maybe, but not too bad. Next thing, let's get the speaker and put him in there. And then the exciting bit, putting the chassis in and finishing him up. And of course, when we're putting the speaker in, we want him the right way up so we can admire him from the outside. Well, from the inside. Probably me being just so particular, but has to be able to It has to be level. Okay, let's get some clips and some little screws, and more importantly, to do this job, our split screwdriver, and tuck him in. Now these fellas a little bit off centre on the screw, so the longer piece goes towards the speaker like so. I'll get one of my trusty split screwdrivers, and I know I've told you about these before. Wow, what a great thing for a slot screw. There you go. Make slotted screws not a problem. Put him in. Now that we've got all the screws in there, we'll position the speaker so he's centre. Like so. And now we can tighten the screws with a normal screwdriver, a normal blade. And there we go. Let's get the next bit that sits in here. And I'll probably need a little bit of a light in there so that you guys can see what I'm doing as well as me. The chassis is hitting on that little clip. So loosen him off. We'll move the clip a little bit sideways. I'll put something underneath to rest, to bring that case up a little bit so the volume control doesn't press on the chassis, pushing it back. And we'll get a couple of screws in. Now the screws that were in here were countersunk with a washer, slotted. So that's what we're putting back in. Okay. Looking reasonable so far. I might get our lamp back here behind us a bit. Right. Here we go. He's in. And this appears to be a long way off centre. But it must be right. This is centred. This is very odd. Okay. Let's put the next big bit on there then, which is our dial. Okay. Right, it's time for the back. Let's get the back on him. But before we do, which we've nearly forgot, solder the speaker leads on. Okay, speaker's all wired up. Let's plug him in and turn him on. Light comes on. Hopefully, all the rest of him will come on. And then, once I'm sure of him, we'll put his back on. He's sounding okay. And I'll turn this stupid light off. There. Now, we might have to put a little bit of an aerial on this fella, just temporarily. We nearly forgot about the aerial. We will solder one on there very shortly. And
we believe it's the responsible thing to do. To more, visit glencore.com.au.
And listen to that.
Advancing everyday life.
Oh.
Great company, great friends.
And that sounds $1 million. Let's go up to the ABC.
Youth workers and other volunteers,
and no worries there. Okay, let's put a bit of aerial lead on him and then put the back on him. Okay, we've got some nice red wire. Is our aerial. Just tin the end of him. And this fellow I'll put a triple knot in, fairly loose, but a triple knot, so he doesn't pull back through the cardboard. We'll solder our aerial lead onto our aerial tag strip there. Like so. Rightio, I've got a couple of a bigger washer and a smaller washer on there to stop him pulling through when we put the back on him. So he's right there. Now these little clips actually go on over our cardboard. It's not really masonite, it just looks like cardboard. And we slip them over where they were, or roughly where they were. How we going here, guys? It's a bit of a tricky situation, this one. There we go. The back is now in. We have a little bit of aerial lead on him. About 3 metres of lead there. Will help him pick up. So back's nice and straight. Everything fits in quite nicely. And the front looks $1 million.
But our movement is underway, and that's crucial.
And if we go back here, and we yeah, and he's sounding absolutely beautiful here in the workshop. Probably won't sound real good on the microphone, but yeah, he does sound $1 million. Okay, guys, that wraps it up for the Astor Mickey HQ chassis. I hope you've enjoyed this rebuild or this restore. This will be going in my collection. So, yes, so we wanted to do a fairly nice job, a little bit more than a repair. But he's looking nice. Okay, if you enjoyed the series, give us a like, give us a thumbs up, and make sure if you subscribe, please subscribe and follow me. But if you want to be notified when the next video comes up, hit the bell. That's the important bit. Just that way, it'll notify you when my next video comes up on YouTube, which from now on will be quite often. Okay, guys, this is a wrap. This is the Astor Mickey, going perfectly. Very happy with it. Okay, we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.